He kōna I purangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
We have left everything behind in Bamyan. We are running out of cash. We can't go to the bank because they are too crowded. We fear for our life, and most of the time we are just in hiding.
It's September 2021. The Taliban have been back in power in Afghanistan for a few weeks, and I'm on the phone with Nowroz Ali at Ta'i. Nowroz had spent about 6 months working as an interpreter for the New Zealand Defence Force in the region of Bamiyan, where he's from. That's a clip from the Voices episode that month. When the Taliban took over, Nowroz managed to get a refugee status visa to New Zealand just a day before the emergency evacuation flights by the NZDF ceased. But a bomb blast in Kabul airport meant he missed getting on that last evacuation flight.
I was relieved when I got the visa. But after that I got to know that the New Zealand government, somehow ended their evacuation, and we were not directly told by them.
And do you have any idea when this second phase of evacuation might take place from New Zealand's side?
Unfortunately, I don't have any idea when it will be start.
Nowroz Ali finally arrived in New Zealand on the next Mercy flight a few weeks later. This is Voices with me, Kadambari. I'd been in regular touch with Nowroz since he arrived in Auckland in October 2021. We'd exchanged messages and spoke a few times on the phone. But this is the first time we're actually meeting in person. It's been a long time coming, and I'm pretty excited. I'm in an Auckland suburb trying to find his home right now.
Here it is. Hi, Salam Nowroz.
Good to
Nice
see you.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Finally,
Good to
how
see
are
you.
you?
I'm good. Good.
A month after he arrived, Nowroz Ali was joined by his brother Sultan Ali and his 2 sisters, Tamanna and Marwa, who are 19 and 18. We're sitting in their living room on the floor with a traditional spread of nuts, dry fruit and tea, and it's quickly followed by some biryani and Afghani bread that Tamanna's just baked. Well, you're lucky your sister's a good cook. What would you eat otherwise? Bread and butter.
It's nice to have sisters here. They're always supporting us with the laundry. Yeah.
Everything.
Everything. So.
When you first arrived, I think it was October 2021.
Yeah.
And we spoke on the phone after you arrived, and you were living downtown.
Downtown, yeah.
And you were in an apartment, and I remember hearing in your voice that you were finding it really challenging and quite lonely.
Definitely.
How do you find life right now?
It was a bit difficult in the beginning because I first somehow cultural shock. I was alone in my room. No one was there. I didn't know anyone. I was waiting for my family to join in.
Thank you.
Once you go from one society to another society, you experience cultural shocks. There's different norms, different values, different traditions, different people that you find it a bit difficult to adjust. And now I'm adjusted. I'm good. I'm happy. I like the culture here. I like the hard work, which Kiwis are independent hard workers. So they really quite work hard. As soon as they turn 18, they separate from the families. So they join to the employment, to the working industry. So I like that a lot. I work as a full-time at the moment as a customer service specialist, one of the well-known airlines. And besides that, I have met lots of friends. Besides, I go to gym to exercise, and most importantly, taking advantage of my time here.
You've spoken about the pros. And do you see any cons as well to the situation?
Yeah, there are some cons too. So housing is quite difficult here. It's very high, so it's not affordable. Life is so quiet here. People are not social. People are just busy with themselves. It's quite, everything is somehow isolated. So as one of the New Zealand values is it's quite good. I know it's quite good. You have to be independent in yourself. But at the same time, for refugees who came to a country like New Zealand, it's a bit hard. If you don't know anyone, it's a bit hard. If anyone comes from different background, different community, if they don't know anyone in here, it's quite difficult. The system of life is quite difficult here. I've met many Afghan community leaders who have helped me out a lot. So they have helped me how to register for my driver's license. They have, most importantly, how to navigate to the society, and how to be a good responsible citizens.
The four of them are gathered round after lunch on a call with Afghanistan. Their mother and other brother are on the line.
It's usual that we miss our family, our homeland, the place that we were born there. It's with lots of ambition, with lots of memories that I had there. Lots of my friends, my families. It's obvious that I miss it. I hope to see them here in New Zealand one day.
That's Tamanna. She plans to study nursing after college.
At first, it was a little bit quite hard for me, because they speak very fast and they're taking note in computer, which was a little bit harder for me. But after a week, I get used to it, and I was very good, better, and I was very well, and all the teachers really appreciated my work, and they said, "You're really good, well done," those kind of things. Well, back in country in Afghanistan, I had lots of friends. Life in Afghanistan was very social, and finding friends was very easily there. But in here, it's quite different. Especially when my first time when I go to college, every single student, they were just busy with their computer, or they had friends and they talked to each other. They even did not know their name of their classmate. I don't know even my name of classmates. I made two friends, which is one of them is from India, one of them is from Syria. Just only two friends, not more.
It's the girls' day off from studying, working part-time at fast food chains, and learning to drive. Things that at this point in Afghanistan would be impossible for girls. After 2 decades of war, the Taliban returned to power almost 2 years ago as the US and NATO troops withdrew from Afghanistan. The hardline group has since implemented its strict interpretation of Islamic law, or Sharia, banning most women from workplaces and female education.
When I heard that news, it was really heartbreaking news for me. That not just for me, for all Afghan girls, those who are living in Afghanistan, those who are living abroad, and it was really bad news and heartbreaking, and that Taliban don't allow girls to go to school to continue their education. Education is a primary thing that everyone needs to. It's the right of everyone that he or she needs to educate herself or himself. The Taliban did not allow girls to go to school, can't continue their education, they can't work. Just sitting at home is something very difficult that no one wants to do. No one wants that one.
Marva, the younger sister, has got dreams of being a lawyer. She's been in touch with her friends back in Afghanistan regularly since the ban.
Like in here, when I just talk about my situation, like they are just kind of wishing to be in the situation that I am, because like I've got anything that I can work, I can study, I can drive, I can do anything that they cannot do, and it is like very, very disappointing for them. They're like really disappointed when I just talk to them, like they're so hopeless, and when I just talk to them, I cannot just control myself, because like it is really hard being in that kind of situation.
Do you think that this might change in the next few years?
I hope. I'm hopeful that it may change. I will use every few opportunities that I have. I will try in here to be a very successful person that everyone knows that Afghan girls can do everything. They are not those who are they are not the people that that says in news that Afghan women are powerless or they can't educate, they can't go to school, they can't go to uni. I know that Afghan women are very powerful and they can do everything that they want. Just they need to start. They need someone to inspire them, to motivate them, and also they need a very good supporter as well. That's the main thing, I think.
The family have other siblings left behind in Afghanistan, and they're all struggling with this ban. Some were halfway through school, others almost graduating. For Nowroz, there's no rationale that justifies the ban.
They haven't provided any logic. They haven't studied, in religious schools. They are not educated at all. They didn't go to, most of them, they're just their own interpretation of Islam. They don't know what Islam says. They don't know what are the values, the Afghan culture, and most importantly, what the Afghan wants. The Afghan wants a proper community, a democratic government which everyone can see it in themselves, and mostly seeing girls going to the schools, having everyone educated, employment. I can see tens of thousands of girls that have been banned from schools, and there is no proper logic for. So what will happen in the future? We will have it will be a dark future for Afghans at all. You will have an uneducated family at the end of the day.
And what are the possibilities of Afghans like yourself being educated overseas and perhaps, some point returning to help build the country again?
Well, at the moment, as long as the Taliban are in power, it seems impossible for me to return. But I will definitely try on every single avenues and single platforms that I can advocate for the Afghan girls and in general for the Afghan youths, so I can do something for them. And most importantly, I can reach out to the international media and to the international outlets so that I can advocate for them.
Nowroz Ali, his brother Sultan, and sisters Tamanna and Marwa talking about their new lives in New Zealand, pursuing their dreams here in Auckland, while hoping for better days in Afghanistan. That's Voices with me, Kadambari Raghukumar. Every week I bring you a story from all around New Zealand, talking to people from all around the world who live here. If you like what you hear, follow us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts from. You can also find Voices episodes on the RNZ website, where you can also find other great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Today's episode was mixed by Flo Wilson.